Welcome back, those of you across the world on the internet. This is Chris Beck.
And this is Alex Davey.
We're here for Worlds 2015, sponsored by FFG X-Wing semifinals. We have an awesome matchup for you. You just saw Nathan Eide play a daring match against K-Wings. Well, he's in the top 4, and he's going to be playing against, I forget his last name, Philip. He's been playing a year and a half. This is his first time at Worlds. Came here for a good time. He's found a great time with stiff competition and wants to come back. He's loving the Scum and Villainy faction, and he'll be facing Nathan's just absolutely fierce 3 aces with a pair of nasty assassin droids.
Yep, he's got the probably the breakout success for the Scum faction in general has been the dual aggressor list, the so-called brobots. They have a lot of really nasty tricks. And I think this is going to be one hell of a game because it's going to be on Philip Booth to drop one of Nathan's aces and bring his offense way down. Because if he can't do it, if he's just chipping away at both of them for the whole game, he's going to have a lot of trouble because IGs, while they are very defensive and very offensive, they are lower pilot skill. That's going to be difficult to compensate for in a lot of ways, and they don't regenerate. As tough as they are, once you take a shield off of them, he's running IG-88B, although it does look like this one has IG-88A in the field. So if he does score a kill, he'll be able to regenerate a shield, but it's not the kind of consistent regeneration that Nathan's list brings to the table. So I fully expect a great game here. If the aggressors can, bring those heavy laser cannons because they're both armed with heavy laser cannons and fire control systems, a lot of firepower. If he can bring those to bear on Nathan's list, get some good rounds of shooting in, drop one of his aces, whether Poe or Corrin, he's going to have a real chance at winning this thing. But if Nathan can slip around him with higher pilot skill, dodge those arcs, regenerate those shields one at a time, play that kind of it's almost sort of a drunken master strategy that Nathan employs. He comes in with one ace, does a lot of damage, takes some hits, flies away. The other ace comes in with a left hook. It's a beautiful dance to watch, and Philip's going to have to be careful that he doesn't get suckered in by that, as so many of Nathan's opponents have this tournament. So I'm expecting a really spectacular game here.
Already we can see Philip Booth taking a very conservative, safe posture with the setup of his IGs very close to each other. He wants to create a scenario with overlapping firing arcs. He does not want to let an ace slip past him. If he can bait Nathan into a joust, it will be very difficult for one of Nathan's aces to come away unscathed from these heavy laser cannon IG-88s. But we'll just have to see. We're just now in the setup stage. This is a very initial stage for strategy to start evolving. So
absolutely,
we're warming up for a very, very interesting match. While we're doing that, I have a quick question that I wanted to address. It was a great question from last session. It may involve a little bit of involved answers, but here we go. Is there any simple difference between Scum, Imperial, and Rebel factions, maneuverability at all? I'm gonna start off and say first, the simplest difference is theme. Each one of these factions has a different theme that governs their abilities. Rebels are all about methodical guns. They move slow, they move intentionally, and they want to bring their guns to bear. Imperials are all about numbers, bringing lots of ships to the field, and maneuverability and speed. Swarm your opponents, surround them, attack them. Scum, they're all about shifty, stealing things from you, pulling tricks that are illegal with illicit actions and illicit abilities. That's what I mean by theme. Now, Alex, surely you can expound on this, but I think those are the hearts of those factions initially.
Yeah, I think so, and I think that the differences on the tabletop can get blurred because, of course, every faction has a number of different strategies available to it. The Rebels can play any number of different ways. The Imperials can play any number of different ways. But I think primarily the differences between the factions, there are some clear-cut differences. The Imperials tend to be agile, no real shields, no way to compensate for bad rolls, high skill, kind of ace-type flying, or they run the Swarm, which is just a bunch of expendable, expendable troops that they can throw into the fight, get a lot of dice, just try for a sheer numerical superiority strategy. Rebels can do that too, as can Scum with Z95s, but I think the Empire does it best thanks to ships like Hal Runner, and now thanks to ships like the Crackshot Black Squadron. So I think that's you either roll aces or you roll Swarm with Imperials. And with the Imperials, they live or die on their defense dice, on their positioning. Unlike the Rebels and the Scum to a lesser extent, they don't have shields to rely on. The Rebels, on the other hand, they're the faction that's just consistent, tanky, shielded, well protected. That Rebels tend to support each other with their squad abilities, whereas Imperial abilities tend to be a little bit more self-centered or debuff style. And Rebels also have the only true super strong regeneration in the game. Like, the Rebels have the only real access to these powerful cards like R2-D2 and R5-P9, which you can see being used to great effect by Nathan. So the Rebels definitely have this strategy of, like, leave no man behind, save our precious pilots whenever possible. Nobody is expendable kind of thing when it comes to their high pilot skill ace characters. The Rebels definitely a very defensive, synergistic, keep everyone alive. We're going to get into this fight the way we started it faction. And the Scum have a very nebulous identity. They have some interceptor style aces here with the dual IGs. They have a little bit from every faction, and they have all the tricks. They're the only faction with the illicit slot. They're the only faction that can pull off crazy stuff like glitter stim or inertial dampeners. They have to rely on cunning to win because they don't have the survivability and firepower of the Rebels or the high pilot skill, arc dodging, high agility nature of the Imperials. They're somewhere in the middle.
So we just had an opening salvo from Corran Horn, it looks like.
Not a great roll for that IG, but it looks like he's going to block 2 hits anyway.
Looks like both the IGs have taken some shots, but they're not taking any damage. We're lined up for a straight-up joust here. This will be really, really messy in a little bit.
I find it very interesting that Nathan chose to just joust with these robots. I wonder if he's hoping that he can just tank this initial volley, not take too much damage, pass over the IGs, and then be in a good position, because he is going to take two heavy laser shots with Gunner. I mean, he should, if the odds are he's going to take some damage here. First one was a miss, but the second one's coming through here. IG-88B, of course, allowing for fire control system and a second shot. Unless the dice are very cold, this should put some damage out there. Not great, but he's got a target lock, of course. Heavy laser flips that to a hit. Dice are not on his side so far. But that was not a great defense roll either.
That was not a good heavy laser cannon shot at all.
Not fantastic. But he's got another one coming up. Hopefully this one will do a little bit better for him. Got 3 hits coming in. Now, does he just take the damage? I think he does. He doesn't want to risk that Gunner shot.
I think he takes the damage, mitigates a potentially worse shot with Gunner that could just
really not a great opening. Now, I wonder if Corran Horn is the right target here. In Philip's shoes, I might have targeted Poe. Poe's easier to kill. He's got worse defense rolls, and he doesn't have the consistent regeneration in the way that Corran does. If he wants to regenerate, he's got to save a focus token to do so, which means his defense is going to suffer for it. I think in Philip's shoes, I might actually target Poe first in this situation. He's going to be an easier target to bring down. Of course, that runs the risk of a late-game Corran, but as we've seen time and time again, shooting Nathan's Corran Horn doesn't seem to work out for people very well.
No, I think if you want to kill Corran, you need to get range 2, range 1. Don't give him any defensive distance bonuses. Don't let him slip behind asteroids, and annihilate him. Concentrate fire. Otherwise, R2 is just going to bring those shields back. His His natural evasion dice is going to help him so much, and the other two ships are just going to pick away at you.
Well, it's a tough situation too, because as tooled up as these IGs are for getting serious damage here, I mean, it's hard to get more offensive than heavy cannon with a built-in gunner ability plus crack shot. That is about as big a hammer as you can swing in this game. And at any point, a bad round of dice for Corrin could finish him off. All it takes is one round where his defense fails and the offense is high. We haven't seen it yet, but I think at some point you just gotta, I think the expression is spray and pray. Like you throw the dice at Corrin and you hope he has a bad round.
Well, we just watched those IG-88s too also spend both their glitter stims on a fairly ineffectual heavy laser cannon shot.
Yeah, very unfortunate actually. Did not get the dice he needed. Now he's going to get blocked by this pesky A-Wing, as we've seen Nathan do time and time again. This A-Wing, a linchpin to this list, really. You wouldn't think that a 15-point ship like this could have such a huge role. This has been 15 points very well spent in every single game that I've seen Nathan play.
I love the way he used it as this skirmisher, just to run in, scare the formation, mess up the movement. And he's doing it expertly.
I wonder if this second ship is going to be able to nestle in the space between that A-Wing. I think he's going to avoid the block, and that's going to be critical. So that IG at least is going to have a clear shot on that A-Wing at the very least, and he's going to focus for the combat phase, which is hugely important. We'll see where Corrin goes. Corrin may be just trying for the burn-it-down aggression of a face-check Corrin Horn.
Goodness, this is going to be a mess.
Absolutely, Nathan is just like, I am going for it. I'm lining up across from you. I've got the squad to take care of this business. I am going to burn one of those robots down. This is a risky play, but I like it. What I really like about it is that he's gotten into range 1, and what that allows him to do is it allows him to negate IG-88B's ability. Yes, he's taking a 4-dice primary, but it's a 4-dice primary without the gunner effect. And he's going to have 4-dice primaries back with Poe and Corrin, and a double tap against a defenseless IG.
Can we see the dice? Oh, I don't know how big this hit was. That was a 4-dice hit. What was it?
It looks like the IG lost 4 shields from that.
Holy cow.
This game might be over fast.
This is coming from Poe.
Nathan's dice continue to be on point. Oh, that is going to help. That is going to help immensely.
So only 1 damage is going to sneak.
Still a lot of pain for that IG to suffer, but that roll helps a lot.
If Corrin decides to double tap on the very same guy, we could see an end to IG-88 right here in round 2 of the attack.
IG, of course, coming back in here with some dice of his own.
Looks like 2 hits.
Not getting the big rolls he needs. He's not being able to match Nathan's big hits. And Nathan's dice are just perfect.
So we got a quick question here. Can you say why the A-Wing has been MVP this Worlds? Is it all Nathan? To do with Nathan's piloting. Nathan is using A-Wing's latent speed and maneuverability, but also his low pilot just jump in before everyone else gets a chance to move. And his boost actions to get in the way. That is definitely making him a very valuable component to Nathan's list. Most valuable player, don't know about that, but at least a linchpin in the last match for sure.
Well, I think you can see pretty clearly in this match what Nathan is going for. He's taken away the action from that IG. That helps with offense and defense. He's boxed the IG in. The IG would love to be able to Segnor's loop around, dodge some of those arcs, get well positioned for subsequent rounds. But what he is he's trapped in the middle of the map, slammed in with that A-Wing. He's got very few places to go next turn with both of those IGs, and he's just getting pounded by Poe and Corrin. I think that this was a brilliant opening by Nathan. A little bit risky because he did risk that opening, it could have gone badly. Had both of those heavy laser cannons connected with Corrin with 4 hits, and had Corrin whiffed some defense rolls, he easily could have lost Corrin in the opening rounds. It's not super likely, but it was a risk. But Nathan has been no stranger to risky, just brave play this tournament. I think it's one of the reasons he's climbed so far up the ladder. He's not afraid of this situation. He knows what moves to make to tilt the scales in his favor, and he's willing to accept the risks. He's not afraid of what might happen. And he's just absolutely put Phil in a brutal position here. Just a really, really, really tough opening for Phil to climb out of.
I think Phil's going to have a hard time doing anything but straights or hard turns to try to get out of this. I don't believe Segnor's loops is going to be an option.
Well, the blue ship can do a 4K.
Sure.
So he can clear that E-wing, and the red IG over there can probably Segnor's out of the way. So it's not impossible, but that's going to leave both of them stressed. It's going to cut into the offense. It's going to give Corrin a chance to regen stuff. IG's by no means out of this at all, but they did take the worst of that opening exchange, and they're not well positioned to use their real advantage. What they really want to be doing is they want to be shooting at range 2 to 3. They want to be clearing the scrum and firing sniper rifle shots from across the board, because that is where they really shine. Particularly range 2. Range 2 against Poe is going to be lethal. If both IGs can catch Poe at range 2, they are going to be able to ignore his auto thrusters. They're going to be able to be 4 attack dice with gunner against 2 agility. He's got 6 defense, so he's not that easy to take down. But the IGs need a really good round of shooting at the optimal range here if they're going to be able to turn this thing around.
He's going to try. It looks like the Segnor's loop coming here. Will he have enough space?
This is going to be crucial. I think he will.
He may be able to make it.
So this is what I predicted, a three Segnors to the left, and I'm guessing a 4K from the other Brobot. It's probably the best move in a bad situation.
That'll buy those Brobots a little bit of maneuvering space, a little bit of time. They're going to show up in the backside of X-Wing and E-Wing most likely.
And it looks like that 4K. That's not a terrible place for these IGs to be honest. Like, this is a pretty standard opening pass for the IG-2000. Do a few damage coming in, hopefully weather the storm, and then flip around behind the list and go into chase mode. That's going to force Nathan's ships to either do K-turns of their own, which leaves them very vulnerable and probably isn't the wisest maneuver, or spend a couple of rounds getting back into position.
God, this would be a great time for Poe to pull a Talons roll here to the right.
That would be pretty hilarious. If he plotted a Talon roll, he's going to be in a gorgeous, gorgeous position. Nathan playing it safe. I think the smart play, not risking that K-turn, not risking that one-turn kill on that vital Corrin Horn. He can use push the limit to focus and evade. He can play the long game. He's expert doing that. He doesn't take foolish risks. He gets aggressive when he needs to get aggressive, but he doesn't do so foolishly. He doesn't get ahead of himself. He knows that he did the best he could in that opening exchange, and now he needs to play the position game and bring things back again, particularly since Corrin Horn can't shoot again after doing his double tap. He's got that strategy down pat. He'll come in, he'll do a massive amount of damage, and he'll slip away, fix his shields, reposition. It might take 1 turn, 2 turns, 3 turns. It doesn't matter, because when he comes back in, it's going to be that perfect position to do another one of those sledgehammer blows.
So we have a question here. Did Philip make a tactical error in the starting flight moves, or did Nathan just surprise him with aggression on that engage? I think this was a pretty standard joust. I think they both knew what they were getting into when they were setting this up. Yeah, I think it's possible Nathan did surprise Phil a bit with how quickly he charged in, but I'm not sure that either of them really. I don't think either of them were awfully caught off guard. What do you think?
Well, I think that Phil had a great opening, actually getting shots with.
Show me a
Here
talent.
it is.
Show me a talent roll.
Troll. So the thing about that is it's when it's the perfect maneuver, it's just the perfect maneuver. It doesn't come into. I think Nathan's basically a once per game average with that thing. But what a beautiful play out of IG's arc. Moves as far away as possible with Corrin.
That was freaking excellent. So
fantastic.
Here's an attack coming from, it looks like 2 hits, no damage done, but Poe is just
position.
Poe has just shown those Brobots not to ignore him, and it looks like he's gonna be at range. Maybe
he might have a shot from this IG.
Range 3 of a heavy laser cannon, but it's only going to be 1 heavy laser cannon attack.
I wonder if this is. Even if he has the shot, I wonder if it's worth taking, or if it's better to try to focus down. Well, no, I think if you've got the shot, you take the shot.
It looks out of arc. Poe's probably going to be
very close.
Poe's going to be safe here.
It's very close.
That is fantastic. That is excellent.
Judge is yet to make the call. It's very close.
Another question, has the half-point large ship rule played a big role this year in results?
It looks like no shots for the IGs.
I don't think.
Brutal.
I don't think.
One on the A-wing, maybe.
I don't think the margin of victory new rule for large ships has played a big part in the overall results. It's a little hard to tell just now, not knowing.
Gunner's going to kick in here.
Not knowing how many large ship lists have been in tournament. I would say that the number of small ship lists persistent in these semifinals say a lot about their durability against big ship lists. So it may have evened the field a little bit, but I don't think it's made a giant difference.
Well, one thing's for sure, large ships aren't done in the way that they used to, and whether that's a result of upgrade cards like the twin laser turret, and I suspect that has a big part of it, or whether that's part of the large ship MOV rule, I can say that in one of our earlier games, it really did come into play. The Imperial player still lost the game, but there was a point where he had a half-dead Chewbacca, and he was up on points, and that would have been a hopeless match for him in previous years. So even though Chewbacca was able to drop those ties, I think had the Imperial player had a little bit of better luck, the rule would have allowed him to, claim a victory that wouldn't have been possible in previous years. So I never expected it to be a huge change, but it's a nice change because it limits some of the frustration of a timed match. And I think that's really the key to the rule. It's not designed to punish large ships specifically. It's just designed to, compensate for one of the factors in tournaments that's inevitable. That is a timed round. We'd love every round to be on time to really come down to the wire, but obviously that's not possible in a huge event like this. And the time match does add an element of unique tension to the game.
So we have another question here coming at us. It's a little bit more fluffy. It's not necessarily this game related, but where are Nathan and Philip from? Well, we know both players are from the U.S. Nathan is from Wisconsin, I believe. I don't know which state Philip hails from, but they're local, at least insofar as they're from this country, and they've been playing for a while each.
We've got some interesting maneuvers here. Poe is stressed, so it's unclear if he's going to be able to come around and get a shot. I suspect he will, though. I think a soft bank to the right followed by a boost is going to let him get a target on something, which is going to be crucial. I don't think anyone's going to be shooting back at him. Nathan really playing the outmaneuvering game well here, but it's all going to depend on where these IG-2000s end up. Philip has been playing quite well. He's been able to line up a few shots, but having that lower pilot skill, that can be a real disadvantage.
Philip is coming all the way from the sunny state of Arizona. He's dodging a little bit of heat now for some milder Minnesota weather, but we're glad to have so many people from out of state, abroad,
I don't know if I can make that
all points across the world to play this absolutely amazing game of excellence.
I'll go straight.
I really hope to see Poe do a hard right turn, try to turn into this IG-88. He won't be leaving stress, but I'd love to see Poe get in behind these IG aggressors.
Well, I think that he will. I think he's uniquely positioned. If not get any shots this round, at the very least, he's going to be able to come in, do a sort of circling outflank maneuver and be well situated for the late game. Looks like he's trying to trap for Corrin or maybe get some hurt on this A-wing, but Corrin's going to be nicely caught between these aggressors. Actually, this is what I was talking about. This is what Philip wants. I don't think he's going to be able to get both ships against Corrin, but at the very least, if he's got that aggressor angled, if you can at least get one HLC on Corrin, every damage he does to Corrin's going to limit his future movements. Because if you can force Corrin to keep doing little green maneuvers in order to regen his shields, he's going to have some tactical maneuvering advantage. So really nice play from Phil here. He's setting himself up for a great game, and Phil's going to have I'm going to predict no firepower against him this round. It's always great when you can get a round of unopposed shooting. That means you can use all of your actions offensively. It means you have nothing to worry about. You can just concentrate on target selection, and it looks like Poe is going to take the evade, or no, I'm sorry, Corrin is going to take the evade, and just hope to weather this storm. Now, a boost. I don't believe a boost is going to get an arc. It's going to be close, but I think it's going to. I think Poe is going to be out of the action this turn.
All right, take shots.
We'll find out in just a minute.
We'll go right there.
I'm really curious to see.
Yeah, no shot from Poe, so it looks like the aggressor's going to open it up. He needs some big rolls. He hasn't gotten big rolls with these HLCs yet.
That's
a better. Well, no, he target locks, so that's not what he needs. He needs to come through. Better. 3 is a lot better. It's not a 4, but it's better. Corrin just continues to roll hot evade dice, though.
Corrin's going to take 1 damage, preventing the gunner from triggering.
Yep, which is always a smart play. That's the conservative move.
That is a great move. Looks like the second heavy laser cannon coming.
Man, I bet he wished he took focus this round. He's just not getting the dice rolls. Honestly, he's lining up shots and he's just doing nothing with these HLCs. It's a bit hard to watch.
You'd like those 7-point investments per ship to really matter for something, and they have not done the job they were bought for.
No, they're plinking away, and that is not what they need to do. They need to get big hits. HLC plus gunner plus target lock or whatever. That should be a serious threat. He's just not getting the dice rolls he needs to leverage that kind of power. And Nathan continues to roll beautifully. Going back to dials here. Philip having a really rough time. The good turns that he's been able to achieve through his maneuvering have not paid off in any significant way. Despite a range 1 shot on that A-wing and a beautiful, HLC shot from that other IG, you expect better from IG 2000. Like they normally perform with a much higher offensive average, and sometimes there's just no accounting for bad luck.
They needed to capitalize on those firing at the tail ends of Corrin and that A-wing, and Poe being out of position. Now Poe is going to be in a great position to follow up and add his own backstabbing kind of fire to the mix.
That A-wing is going to continue to be a real hassle. Sharp turn here to block that IG. Just the most annoying little ship, and Nathan knows exactly where to put it. Honestly, I think that A-wing is giving him a major edge in this game because it's allowing him. Oh, interesting boost. I would not have necessarily predicted that. But maybe he thinks that IG is going to go for a big K turn here or something. But I think he actually boosted out of the block. He's got to be regretting that, because that's going to give IG free reign to focus up and lay into whatever ends up in front of his guns. I think he's probably kicking himself for that boost a little bit. Leaves that A-wing defenseless as well. Is this going to be a block? This is an important. Nope. Really nice in here. It's going to be hard for Corrin to get away from both of those IGs. I think Philip is playing a spectacular game. If his dice turn around, this could be rough for Nathan.
There's a lot of talk online about what wins X-Wing games. Is it dice? Is it flying? Is it a combination of the both? And I tend to believe that great flying can overcome shoddy dice results. And this might be a situation in which consistent fly on the part of the IGs will eventually win out for them. Hopefully, they'll see a little bit more success as they train their guns on a loose Corrin or that A-wing.
Well, here's the interesting thing. Like, Corrin has decided that he can't escape those HLCs by running from them, so he's going to turn into the IG 2000s, and he's gonna focus evade, rely on his regeneration and his evade dice, and force those IGs into primary weapon attacks. And that's a huge advantage for Corrin, because if he can weather the storm from that primary, remember, it doesn't get the benefit of the reroll if he's not shooting with the heavy laser cannon, he can just light this IG up. I mean, this is a big turn. Corrin's going to be lined up for a range 1 double tap.
This is Corrin.
Poe comes in.
This is shot from Poe. He's got a hit and a crit.
Nathan's dice still solid, like unmodified. IG gets a decent roll here. He's debating, does he spend that focus token? It's a tough choice. And he does. He needs to survive. He knows he cannot afford to go down before getting a shot on Corrin here. But that's taken away from his offense. I mean, everything Nathan does before the IGs get to shoot are taking away options.
This is Corrin.
Corrin had the fire control system from a previous round. Finally, Corrin not rolling that monster roll this time. That's going to give IG some breathing room. And IG, beautiful defense. Here's the dice are turning around. That's the thing about this game. You're up some turns, you're down some turns.
Absolutely.
Philip is having a good dice round. Let's see if it can continue as he tries to light up Corrin here. I think it might be a nice HLC shot here. It's going to be close. They're going to have to get the judge over probably to measure.
It'll likely be through asteroid.
Definitely through an asteroid, whether it's an HLC or not. It looks like it is an HLC because he's changing those crits to hits, so that's exactly what he needs. He's got a fire control system, and he's got focus, so he's going to do a monster hit. This is what you expect. Corrin, of course.
Corrin has to spend the focus.
No, he can tactically spend the evade to take a single shield and deny that gunner. That is what makes Corrin so powerful. That was a perfect roll for Nathan, actually. It's exactly what he wants. One shield, Corrin don't care.
Corrin don't care.
And he's still got a focus for when the next IG takes a shot at him. So, this is Nathan's strategy. Like I was saying before, you just control every element of the game. You can outplay those gunners. You get into the range 1. So now he can, when he takes the second attack, he can feel free to spend whatever tokens he wants because he doesn't have to worry about that gunner kicking in. And IG, again, gosh, wishing he had focus every round. It's funny how many eyes he's rolled when he, needed... And this is ridiculous because Nathan can just take another hit and call it a day. Does he take a shield and save the focus for offense and just burn this IG down, or does he play it safe? He's playing it safe. Can't blame him for that.
Gunner's going to get another shot, right?
No, because he's at range 1. That's what I'm talking about. That's what Nathan's doing when he's coming in for these close range engagements. Corrin has all the advantages at range 1. Corrin gets an extra die. The IG does not. Corrin gets to do a wicked double tap. The IG just gets to throw normal dice.
That double tap wasn't awfully effective just now. We saw a Corrin horn whiff.
No, the IG's defense dice have kept it in the game. They finally turned on for Phil. His dice turned on a little bit this round. But Nathan's dice have still been solid. Like, Corrin's not taking that much damage from these engagements.
Nope.
The IGs are not in an optimal position this round. They had a really great position last round. It's going to be a little harder for them to stay on target.
We're going to watch. I think we're going to watch the A-Wing and Corrin try to gum up some movement. The A-Wing's going to get the best chance at it. Corn, it'll be really curious to see where Corn goes, and Poe is going to have a choice of targets depending on which way he decides to follow suit. If he goes after the IG through the rocks, or if he turns and tries to wrangle the IG outside the rock. Either way, I think Nathan's got a real positional advantage.
Certainly on this turn, and you know, we were talking a little earlier about the half points rule. I think we're going to see it come into play in this round as well. I mean, even if Nathan can't finish off that IG 2000, as long as Nathan can prevent either of his aces from going down, he's already won this game. And he doesn't care what the margin is at this point. It's into elimination, so he can win by a single point. So imagine a scenario in which both IG 2000s survive till the end, and as does both of Nathan's aces. You know, even if that A-wing goes down, the 25 points he's been able to get from the half points rule on one of those IGs will get him the win. So that's going to force Philip. Philip absolutely needs to kill either Poe or Corrin. There's no other way he can win.
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw one or both IGs take an aggressive turn here and go for Segnor's loop. Try to put the A-wing, put Corrin, put Poe on the inside of a pincer.
I think a Segnor's loop is a great play in this situation. Particularly since Corrin has done his double tap and will not have a shot, the IGs can be a bit more aggressive this turn. If this is a block, that's going to be problematic. I'm a little surprised that this one didn't do a Segnor's for a long-term reposition or a K-turn, but he will have a beat at A-wing. Maybe he's so sick of that A-wing, he's just going to take it out this round and then turn his focus around. We'll see what his other IG does. If it's a Segnor's, he might get some shots on Corrin.
Looks like.
Oh man,
Whoa,
if that is blocked,
that was not the Segnor's I was.
That's big. Now was a Segnor's loop. See, now that A-wing again. This is what I'm saying. That A-wing is a huge, huge thorn in Philip's side. It's absolutely awful. In fact, this is an incredibly bad situation because he's facing the wrong way. He's stressed. You know, he's probably going to have to do a one turn just to stay on the board next round. The A-wing can stay in that position. It can happily just deliberately bump the IG and trap him there.
Corrin can just zoom out, regen a shield.
Yep, Corrin's escaped the net once again. See, I'm telling you, this A-wing, MVP this game.
Yep.
I mean, Corrin and Poe are the hammer, but that A-wing is just surgically placed. Absolutely, that is what is costing Philip this game, is that A-wing blocking him every time he tries to get out of the trap that Nathan has set.
I think I have to agree with your assertion just there and help to confirm a question that somebody on the net asked. Is the A-wing MVP? Yeah.
Not every game, but certainly this game.
This game he has been, and he was a fantastic help last game for Nathan. He's flying that A-wing perfectly, just perfectly.
Now, at least Phil's going to have a chance for some revenge here. I mean, he could very well drop this A-wing with a nice primary attack. That would help free up Phil's list in the future. I think if he removes this A-wing, he's going to have a lot more maneuvering flexibility. It's really critical that he drops this A-wing this turn, or I think he's just going to continue to struggle as he gets blocked round after round. That A-wing is an absolute lethal place, because if this IG is blocked by the A-wing again, which it very well could be if it doesn't get taken down, it's going to gum up his other IG, it's going to block his fire lanes. I mean, Nathan's really playing this one expertly.
And that's something that always has to be taken into account. A ship's advantages aren't just its guns or its ability to evade being shot at. Sometimes it's its ability to maneuver in the way, block movements, deny actions, and put large ships in very difficult positions. What was that roll just there? That looked like Poe spending a target lock, maybe? I'm sorry, I didn't see it.
We're gonna get the dice back on the screen here.
It looks like I saw Philip pull one shield off.
Looks like
of one of his IGs.
I think this is the return fire here. A-wing takes a couple more damage. Maybe a crit here could finish this A-wing off. Nathan's got a damage card. No, it looks like just shields. So the A-Wing is mostly unscathed. And that's not going to be good for Phil. He needed to, as unlikely as it was, he needed to drop that A-Wing if he was going to have a real chance at getting out of this little trap. Nathan fully in control of this match, it looks like, for now.
Right now, Poe and Corrin have an easy choice to make turning into these IGs if they want for some very, very close fire that may not be tested, may not be returned.
My prediction here is Corrin Horn's going to bring the hammer down and finish off one of the IGs. Unless the IG's dice are really good and unless he can escape that trap. There's no way he can get out of that A-Wing block and clear his stress and stay on the board. I really don't think so, at least from what I can tell. The angle might be a little bit a bit strange, but it looks to me maybe a two-turn. Maybe a two-turn will do it.
So the A-Wing's going to two-turn out.
Going for that block. Like I said, that A-Wing is just a huge thorn in Phil's side. Just absolutely obnoxious for him to deal with. It means that the IGs, all of the IG's tricks that we were talking about earlier, the Segnors, the clever range games that it can play, the A-Wing is just shutting them down 100%. I don't feel good about a two-turn there. I don't think a two-turn would keep him on the board. I think he has to one-turn, which means he's going to stay stressed. We'll see what happens. It's a little hard to tell from here whether a two-turn would clear or not.
And a one-turn may give that A-Wing even a chance to shoot at him.
Well, the A-Wing's going to, one turn as predicted. Looks like it won't give him any shots on that A-Wing, and the A-Wing will have shots on the IG. Just masterful play by Nathan here, putting this
Look
IG,
at that.
putting this IG in a corner, boxing him in, dodging his arcs, taking him out of the fight, and forcing him into this terrible situation. But this other IG is going to come around, and he's going to try to make Nathan pay. Going to try to make Nathan pay for this. I wonder if he just tries to get rid of that A-Wing. That A-Wing is in such an obnoxious place right now. Shooting at Corrin seems a bit pointless at this juncture.
And Corrin's not going to make it easy, swinging for the outside.
No, not at all. Not at all. Now the question is, does Corrin use a boost and open himself up defensively to try to get a shot on IG, or does Corrin turtle up, wait for the perfect moment to tap, and let the round play out the way it's playing out? I suspect Nathan, being a cautious player here, may take the conservative route, but you know what? He's been willing to take risks before. He might decide that getting a shot this turn is what he wants.
Now I believe
he's going for the boost.
I believe that aggressor on the outside is the one with more shields on it. It really depends. Does Nathan want the full kill on one, or does he want to half points on both? He's going to boost in. He wants shots.
Aggression.
He wants shots, and he may be able to force that aggressor to
it's true.
more hard decision making next maneuver round.
The interesting thing, though, he's actually exposed Corrin to 2 HLCs. He is really playing it risky here. Oh, he's going to barrel roll. Smart play. So he's smart play.
He's getting out of one IG-88's
But
arc.
that's no defense tokens, and it looks like a range 2 shot. He is playing a very, very dangerous game.
My bet he's counting on Poe right now to move in and put some real hurt on that blue IG-88.
This is a very aggressive strategy. I have to respect Nathan. He is going for the jugular. He is not playing it safe.
And here's a dice roll. We've got 2 crits, a reroll. Holy crow.
Hit, crit is not what that IG needs. He needs a good defense roll here.
And it didn't happen. There are going to be
one crit's going to slip through. At least 2 crits are going to slip through. That's going to be devastating.
No, they just Poe just shot at.
Oh, he's cleared the shields off of the last one.
Poe just shot at the IG-88 with shields left.
Corrin's going to take his shot now. This is against the IG-88 without shields. Oh, Corrin suffering from his lack of multiple actions. IG evades. This could be a dangerous turn for Nathan. Bill has a real chance to turn things around here. Now, does he go for that A-wing or does he go for Corrin? I think he goes for Corrin.
I think you got to try.
I think you got to take Corrin off the board. And going to have a pretty good chance.
Focused
Corrin,
up.
no defense tokens on Corrin.
4 hits.
No ability. He's relying on naked dice here. Is Nathan going to pay for his aggression?
Corrin's going to take at least 1.
This could...
Looks like we had a dice.
Blank, evade. Yep.
Corrin
takes a hull damage. Not quite enough, but holy smokes, that could change the game right here. Corrin is living on a prayer, literally. He needs a good roll here.
A-Wing's taking a range 1 shot.
A-Wing's going to put some damage on.
IG-88.
Yep.
Puts the damage in.
Phil's ships are hurting, but they're still very much in this fight.
Now Corrin's going to go for the double tap.
He needs a big roll here.
He
gets it.
He gets a hit
The
and a
target
crit.
lock, this could be decisive.
Another hit.
Hit, crit. It's not
fantastic.
Maximum, but it's not too shabby either. He could put this IG down, but IG's rolling. Phil's dice have really turned around. These IGs are taking a lot of punishment.
What was that crit? Direct hit.
IG. Okay, so now both Corrin Horn and this IG are on 1 hull. This is a fantastic, super close game. I think Phil's got a real chance to put down Corrin, though. I think this is going to be an absolutely fascinating match.
Next round, Corrin will not get to shoot. He will be open to whatever the following IG-88 can give him as long as he's in block. And 1 IG-88 is 1 point away from death.
It's certainly not over for Nico by any stretch of the imagination. Corrin is not in a horrible position. Corrin can move up, block 1 IG to deny shots, regenerate a shield, and push the limit for focus and evade.
It's really going to matter how Poe moves into position, what the A-Wing is able to do as far as blocking.
The A-Wing's going to absolutely need to block that IG and protect Poe. Corrin, because the IGs actually have an advantage this round in that they get to move first. So he can get out of this trap finally. The IG on the left is still stressed, so unfortunately he won't be able to do anything cool like a Segnor's or a Talon. He might not get a shot this turn, but the IG on the right, even though it's only got 1 hull left, he might be able to dodge out of all of the firing arcs, get 1 more critical heavy laser cannon shot at Corrin. I think this is going to be a super decisive turn. This may be the game turn right here.
I think he got that flipped. I believe the one on the left has the most damage on it, the IG.
Oh, you might be right, and actually that's even better for Phil. If the IG on the left is the super damage, the IG on the right here, or on the bottom of our screen, is going to be able, I believe, to do a nice Segnor, or even just a soft turn to the left.
Oh, look at this!
That A-Wing, man, that A-Wing, just the worst. Phil's got to hate that A-Wing more than any other ship he's ever played against. Blocking him again.
There is action.
Oh, and will this take him off the board?
Action denial.
Here's the really crazy thing. If this block takes that ship off the board, you're going to have to measure it out. This is the method for determining one of these, tight-in blocks. It's going to matter. I don't think it does. He's going to be safe. But still, that A-Wing, just obnoxious. So it looks like they've determined very carefully where that final position is going to be. Now, luckily for Phil, he doesn't have to fear Corrin this round. He doesn't have to fear that A-Wing. Poe is going to have to get the job done and remove that IG-88, or it's going to continue to hound Nathan. What a fantastic game, Chris. This is a really fantastic game.
It's been anybody's game. Here comes a Segnor's loop. That's what needed to happen.
Kill Corrin. He has to kill Corrin this round.
He has to, but I don't think it's gonna matter much if Poe is able to follow up and annihilate that IG.
Oh, I disagree. I think if Corrin goes down, Phil's got a shot at it. Poe is nasty, but he's nowhere near the level of pain that Corrin can dish out. Still going to be a close game because Nathan could even recover from a Corrin loss. Now Corrin is blocked and actionless and in range of an HLC, and he has only 2 hit points left. This is a do or die turn for Phil.
He did just regen a shield, but you're right. There isn't a lot left on Corrin. Heavy laser cannon could easily bring that back down.
This is the deciding turn of the game.
Poe's closed, very close, possibly range 1 right now.
I expect Poe will be able to eliminate this IG, but I think that this IG has a really good chance of killing Corrin.
Target locking. Is he going to Can Poe push the limit here?
Corrin needs to hope for one damage landing on. I'm sorry, Nathan needs to hope for a single point of damage landing on Corrin and that gunner not going off. But if he blanks out his roll, he could just die. It's very, very probable that Corrin may be facing extinction. Nathan's had good dice so far. Let's see if they hold. That IG just got taken out by Poe.
Gone.
And half of Phil's list is gone. Phil needs this kill on Corrin. He needs this kill.
Nathan has a 75-point lead on Phil.
Just one half-dead aggressor left for Phil, but if Phil can drop Corrin, it's suddenly a much closer game. Much closer. Come on. I've watched this Corrin everything, every single game I've seen him play. We'll see if his number is up.
So, oh my, that is a huge heavy laser cannon shot.
Corrin needs 3 natural evades, and it is over for Corrin Horn.
Corrin Horn takes a dive. Anybody's game.
Wow. Wow. Phil, really excellent flying here. And now it is a wounded A-Wing and a full-strength Poe Dameron versus IG-88. Now, here's the other interesting thing. I'm not sure which IG died. It's going to depend on what he's got left, because did he recover? Looks like he's still got IG-88B in the fight. Because if he had IG-88A left alive, he could have recovered a shield after killing that ship, which would have been helpful. But I think B is the one he wants to be living at this point anyway. That gunner mechanic is so crucial. So it's the original and best IG-88B, the bounty hunter we see in Empire Strikes Back, all on his lonesome against Poe Dameron and that brutal prototype who is still there, still blocking, still an incredible thorn in Phil's side.
Very valid question coming out from our internet viewers. Who has the advantage? I'm going to say it's very slim in Nathan's court right now.
Agreed.
With a full-up Poe Dameron, lots of fire potential. That A-Wing is very agile and can very easily muck up anything the IG-88
that A-Wing is so unbelievably annoying.
Wants to do. It's and the IG is a large ship. It's a little bit less maneuverable, and he's half dead. He only has 4 hit points left. He is a soft target, and that A-Wing is going to move in for a blocking maneuver right now.
I think if it was just Poe versus IG, it would be a toss-up. But with that A-Wing in play, that is, if anything wins the game for Nathan, it's going to be that A-Wing. I'm going to give Nathan the edge here. But it's not an easy fight. It's no longer a sure thing. If Corrin had survived, I think it would have been pretty much over. But
the A-Wing
continuing to block
is able to affect a block. The real question is where is Poe going to end up, and will he get a shot?
That's an excellent question.
If he doesn't get a shot, then the IG still has a chance.
I don't think Poe's, well, he's got a K-turn lined up.
Poe's doing a Talon roll, it looks like.
Oh, interesting. Could this be a rare misplayed Talon roll? We're going to see. If this Talon roll can clear, it's going to be an amazing maneuver, but it looks like it's going to be blocked.
It's going to fall. It's going to fall short.
I think this is a tactical error for Nathan. Because there was, if he had simply wanted to turn in to the IG and block the shot, he easily could have. But this is going to let the IG clear his stress, reposition. Poe is going to have a stress token on him that he otherwise wouldn't have had. A rare tactical error with the Talon roll. It's a tricky maneuver to get right. We've seen him play some beautiful games with the Talon roll. We've seen it win games for him, but I think that was a mistake. That was maybe the first mistake I've seen Nathan make today.
It's really going to be hard to tell. That was a bold move. I'm glad he tried it.
But the IG is going to get an incredible S-loop now. He can Segnors either to the left or to the right and be in prime position. If a Segnors to the left, it's a bit risky, but if a Segnors to the left keeps him on the board, it's a nasty place for him to be in the tail gun position for getting some shots on Poe. I wonder if his best bet is to get rid of that A-Wing first.
That A-Wing...
It's so close to death, and if he can just wipe it off the board, he's going to be in much better shape.
You cannot pin that A-Wing down with another choreogrammed turn.
But he should have a shot on that A-Wing either which way he Segnors, and that could bring the A-Wing down. Because the A-Wing just did a K-turn, A-Wing's got stress token here, so a reminder to put the stress out for Nathan.
We've got Ignor's loop. It looks like it's going to be to the right.
right. Very interesting. I wonder if that's going to block Poe or if it's going to be a face-off.
I think Poe is going to do a bank one or a straight one to relieve that stress and put him
I'm guessing bank one to the left.
right into the face. Yep. There it is.
Yep. I wonder if IG might have been better off with the Segnors in the other direction.
I don't think he had enough room.
He might not have.
To be honest,
it's hard to tell from this angle, but he may not have had the space on the board.
I don't think that's an option. This is going to be a slug match. Poe Dameron is going to get first shot on IG8 right here. Range 1, 4 dice. 3 hits and a crit.
Oh, Poe swinging big. IG's rolling all right, though.
IG's going to have a hit and a crit run through.
Still, that IG's almost dead. That was a big... Oh, my goodness.
Pilot. Oh, no, that IG-88 is not going to get a chance to shoot.
This might be the end for Philip.
Oh, no.
Just nasty. Nasty, nasty, nasty.
That A-Wing may have a range 3 shot.
I don't think it's close anymore. I think that was a crippling turn for Phil.
Phil needed to put a hurt on Poe Dameron, but that just awful blinded pilot crit's gonna prevent that from ever happening.
And that's what it goes to show that the critical damage deck is such an X factor in this game. It can be absolutely devastating. I think blinded pilot, one of the most feared crits in the game, probably a little bit behind direct hit. But honestly, I'm not sure that IG wouldn't have been better off with a direct hit in this situation. At least a direct hit gives him a chance to finish off the A-Wing or put some hurt on Poe. But by having no shots whatsoever, all he did was take damage and stress this turn. He gave nothing back. He's in a much worse position than he started, and he's 2 points away from death. Fantastic game by Phil, but I don't see him pulling this one out.
Nope. A-Wing's taking a defensive posture, moving a little towards the center, trying to do some more blocking. Not quite sure what this boost is from. Maybe to help that A-Wing evade any potential
We got a request from the chat feed. They want us to tell them one more time how MVP the A-Wing is, yo. That MVP A-Wing, pretty MVP, yo.
I'm
pretty darn MVP.
I'm guessing that's going to get Nathan into the finals.
Absolutely. Nathan, spectacular game. That A-Wing was crucial. Really well played on both sides. Phil caught some bad dice early, but his dice turned around, and he got some great shots. I believe he may be the only player all weekend who has killed Nathan's Poe. Nathan's Corrin. I'm pretty sure that's the only time Corrin's gone down in this entire tournament. At least from the games I've watched, and I've seen at least 5 of Nathan's games.
But we've seen how much it cost him. It cost him so much. It cost him half life on his remaining IG, and it pummeled the other IG into dust.
Absolutely.
Poe Dameron doing a 4 Corey Grand, setting up for a chase. It's going to be a long run, but basically putting IG-88 on the ropes.
That Poe Dameron is full strength, 3 hulls, 3 shields, 6 total hit points to IG's 2. He's got auto thrusters. He's got a shield recovery ability. There's still an A-Wing in play. No major chance for the IG after that rough blinded pilot turn. I think this is a foregone conclusion unless some truly jaw-dropping luck comes out of the bag here.
A-Wing looks like it's going to swing out towards the fences. He does not want any part of the engagement, but he will Corey Grand turn and set up for another chase nearby. It looks as if Philp is going to Grand turn into the fight. He is done messing around.
Nathan just wants to bring this one home.
Philp wants to end this match, and he's giving Nathan every opportunity to.
He's going to joust. He's going to joust with these ships and hope for some luck. I don't know what else he can do, to be honest. I mean, it's hard to dodge a pilot skill 10 Poe.
It is not happening. Poe just needs He just needs 3 solid hits, and he needs IG88 to not defend 1.
There's almost 2,500 people watching this match, which is spectacular.
Hey, let's try to double that for finals next round.
IG clinging to life here. But you know, it's tough to take out a 3 agility ship. The Aggressor, such a lethal platform, and still rolling big guns.
I wonder if I was Philip, if I would have tried to take IG out around the asteroid fields here towards the bottom of the screen, and just annihilate an A-wing if he could have tried for that. It just does not seem like IG has much of a chance going toe-to-toe with Poe Dameron. IG88 is maneuvering towards the middle. He's almost certainly going to get a shot from Poe.
Shots will be fired.
Poe swinging to the outside. My guess is boost in. Dameron. There's an attack from Poe Dameron. Hit, crit, hit, focus.
Nathan just putting the hammer down, and it is over.
Game's over. Game is over. Blinded pilot.
Again. Yep. It may take another round or two, but this IG is out of commission.
The A-Wing's
got a shot.
A-Wing's going to get a shot. That would
if the A-Wing finishes it, MVP. Oh, did he forget the blinded pilot, or what's going on here? Must have been a gunner roll.
So
I'm not sure exactly. I think there must have been some sort of mistake because it looks like we're re-rolling Poe's attack here. Or no, that was against the A-Wing.
That was against the A-Wing. Whoa! That's not so bad for Philip being able to take out an A-Wing. With a heavy laser cannon at distance.
Mm-hmm.
IG88 has options left. Does he Signor loop to the left, try to get behind Poe? Does he try to make a run for it for a choreogram?
I think there may have been a slight misplay with that with the new deck. The old blinded pilot allowed you to roll 0 dice for the initial attack and then use gunner. But the new blinded pilot just means you skip your next opportunity to attack. So unfortunately, that IG would not have been able to get that attack on the A-Wing. I don't think it's going to matter because I think Poe mops this up. But just a note out there, I believe that was played slightly wrong for anyone who's confused. The new damage deck has some subtle that not everybody has caught up to yet.
I think we're going to watch Poe annihilate IG88 just now.
It might have been a stun pilot, not a blinded pilot. We may have misseen that.
IG88 pulling a Signor's loop to the left, trying to get an angle on Poe. What's Poe going to do? Poe's going to do a straight. Whoa, what is this? If that's a choreogram, IG88's in trouble. It is.
And it looks like
Poe's going to get a shot.
Here it is.
Range
this could be the end.
Let's get a look at the dice.
Rolling
3 hits.
Just that That's just what we've been seeing
There
all
it is.
game, and it is all over.
There's the game.
Fantastic play for Nathan.
Nathan Eide has made it into the final round. Who his opponent will be, we will reveal very, very shortly. This is a big match for him.
Absolutely.
See him taking that breath.
Top 2 for Nathan.
was
Fantastic achievement. And Philip looks like he had a great game. Smiles all around. What we like to see, every player just playing to the best of their ability and giving each other every chance to do things right.
It was down to the
What a
last.
fantastic
It was
game.
down to the last 2 ships. This was not a wipe. There was no very clear victor from the beginning. There were not many mistakes. There was just some dice that didn't quite go Philip's way, and dice were definitely rolling Nathan's way.
And the question, of course, on everybody's mind now is Paul Heaver going to be in the finals for a 3rd year in a row? His game with Martin Howard is ongoing. We may have yet another Rebel Imperial matchup in finals, or we may have a Paul Heaver matchup again, looking for a 3-peat against the Kid.
Now
Kid newcomer.
We happen to know that Nathan Eide and Paul Heaver have played
Many times.
several games against each other
And
before.
they're always very close.
We are waiting in anticipation to see what this final matchup will be. Let's keep our fingers crossed for the grudge match. Thank you all very, very much for joining us. Keep the questions coming. We are going to take a very, very small break and join you in just a few more minutes for the final round of X-Wing at Fantasy Flight Games 2015 World Tournament. This is Chris Beck.
This is Alex Davey.
And we'll see you very shortly.